Warhammer 40k. You know it, I know it, we all know it, but why am I talking about it right now? I have been thinking of a revolutionary idea that needs to happen. It absolutely has to happen because it is genius, as is every one of my ideas. A Warhammer 40k high school AU. That's right, you heard correctly. A Warhammer 40k high school alternate universe. Okay? Why, Kip? Why did you bring this up? Why have you possibly thought of this bizarre and possibly stupid idea? Dear viewer, this is not a stupid idea. This is genius. Okay? You take all the Primarchs we know. I know we're missing a few. All the Primarchs, they fit perfectly into high school stereotypes. And we're going to go through each one by one, and I'm going to explain to you which high school stereotype they are. And by the end of this, you'll be like, yes, Kip, you are correct. This is a genius idea. Thank you. Here we go. Starting off, not the Primarch, Emperor. Obviously, Principal. Come on. I don't even need to make that argument. He is just the Principal. Simple. Okay. First Primarch. Good old Horus, the War Master, the leader of the traitor legions. School Captain. He is the second in command, as it were, the leader of all of the students at the school, put there by the principal himself. Perfect position for Horus, don't you think? Like, do I need to make any more arguments on that? He's the school captain. Very good. Going on. Leman Russ, Primarch of the Space Wolves. Party jock. Yes, party jock. You know, again, Russ, you find him at the gym, working out, getting swole, but also just as likely to see him at a party, downing mead, downing meat, eating everyone out of house and home. All the while just being like, chug, 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 chug. Yeah, that's Leman Russ. You know it. Just take that stereotypical Viking culture that you see in popular media, apply it to like a high school character. That's what you get. Or even a college character. Party jock. Ferrus Manus, Primarch of the Iron Hands. Metalwork kid. The guy that's always working in his garage or in the metalwork or woodwork section of the school, working away on different things. Oh, it's lunchtime? Where is he? Oh, yeah, you know, he's with the engineering or woodwork teacher working on some kind of project or another. Probably very like a quiet, one of the quiet characters, but you can get to know him through the art of his metalwork and woodwork, and you'll find a very sweet soul underneath. Ferrus Manus. Next Primarch. Fulgrim, Primarch of the Emperor's Children. He is obviously the one of two popular pretty boys, the self-centered one, of course, because it's Fulgrim, but he's also the drama kid. He is the one in every Shakespearean play, every play that the drama teacher puts on, he is front and center. He's the main actor, he's the main man, and he knows it. And he adores the crowd as they clap his performance. He is the drama kid and the popular pretty boy. You know, the one that's too good for you. The one that you think you can change, but he's just like, oh, I am amazing. I'm too good for you. Everyone else is beneath me. That's Fulgrim. Perfect. Yep. Convinced you? Moving on. Vulcan, Primarch of the Salamanders. This is a nice one. He's the boy next door. Every high school like anime or story has the boy or girl next door, the friend who's just really just a nice person. They have their own little quirks and issues, but they're always just a nice old friend. And Vulcan fits that perfectly. He's the only Primarch to really treat humans or people as people. He's the nice one. Hence, he's the boy next door. He's just the nice guy, right? And not in a quote-unquote nice guy. Nah, he's just a chill dude. He's a nice guy. You've been friends with him for ages, right? It's Vulcan. Rogel Dawn, sports captain. Could be Australian rules football if you're here over in Australia. Could be in America, be the fullback and the football captain over there, but he is the one making the plays. He's pushing the team to be even better and better, win all of those tournaments, beat every other school, get all of the accolades. It's Rogel Dawn. Again, very stoic as well, very sports-minded person. Sports captain. Rabute Gulliman, the creator of the Codex Astartes. Class president. Voted in probably as the only person, right? He would be the one to put his hand up. He would be the one to keep everyone in line. You must follow the rules to the letter. No breaking them. Think My Hero Academia, Ida. Perfect. That's Rabute Gilliman. Right, he's keeping everyone in check and being very respectable in the same way. He's the class president. Magnus the Red, who did nothing wrong. We all know this. Magnus the Red, library nerd. Where will you find him? In the library. Right? He's the one always looking up knowledge, probably reading when times he shouldn't read, so he gets in trouble. Because Magnus got in trouble a lot in the stories. He was always his own little downfall because he always wanted to know too much. And again, here, he's just reading during class, reading the wrong books, gets in trouble with the teachers. But you always find him in the library. He is the library nerd. Now, yes, you're starting to see a pattern of Kip. You're right. These are really starting to fit into these stereotypes. Let's keep going. Sanguinius, the second popular pretty boy, but the nice one. He's the one that, still hangs out with the popular crowd. Everyone who finds him attractive fawns over him. He's like, oh my God, he's amazing. He walks into class and then you got that hazy look of through the camera, the slightly out of focus background and with the pinkish hue as everyone looks at him. That's Sanguinius, but also he's the nice pretty boy. He's the one that might see you if you were in this AU off sitting having lunch by yourself as the new kid, and he would come over and introduce himself and maybe sit with you and start chatting. But then he would be pulled away because the other popular kids, especially Fulgrim, would be like, "Oh, don't hang out with him. He's a nerd, or they're a nerd, they're a geek. Leave him alone." And he will sadly kind of leave you because of peer pressure, but he's kind of a cool guy and you can kind of chat with him when, his other popular friends aren't around, right? Sanguinius, popular, pretty nice boy. Lionel Johnson, not my favorite Primarch, but the favorite stereotype matchup here. He's the character with middle school syndrome, otherwise known as the Chunibu. Chunibu? Hang on, let me just find out exactly how to pronounce this.
Chunibyo.
Chunibyo. He is the Chunibyo. The character that you see in a lot of these high school stories that thinks, especially in anime, that see themselves as the main characters of some kind of great fantasy. They usually have a eye patch over their eye and they make grandiose statements of like, "No, you must not come near me, otherwise I will activate my evil eye. Oh, but I'll save you, princess, I'll save you." That's Lionel Johnson. You can't argue against me. It's hilarious and it fits perfectly. Yeah? Perturabo. This one might surprise you. Right? Because Perturabo has the very, big rivalry with Rogel Dawn. And if Rogel Dawn is a football captain, okay, who would be the big rivalry? Would it be the other person, another character another member of the football team, of the sports team? No. Perturabo is the chess team captain, right? He's the chess team captain. He's all about logic and, using your brains effectively. And he would hate that everyone gives all the accolades to Rogel Dawn, even though him, as the chess team captain, they've won just as many awards. They've beaten just as many other schools, but no, he does not get what he thinks he deserves. He thinks that Rogel Dawn gets too much praise when he is just as good in the better game, the more logical game where everything is a pure balance. It's all mono and mono. The game itself is perfectly 50-50. It comes down to the skill of the player, right? That is Perturabo. Perfect, right? Mortarion. He's the science nerd. He's like the kind of science geeky guy. Because, he, in his story as, as the Primarch, he falls on his world where he's found by the leader of that world and who's a bit of a dick. Just a little bit of a dick. But he's trained up in all of this, all these sciences and math and literature. And then eventually does end up as the Demon Prince of Nurgle, which is again all about plagues and poxes. And he's a quiet guy, I don't think he ever was really very outlandish, but that makes him the science nerd. He's always playing around, studying chemistry in the chem lab, working on new concoctions and all that kind of stuff. He could also be working out new drinks for his mate Lehman Russ at the parties. I don't know. But here he's the science nerd. Lorgar, the Primarch of the Word Bearers. Teacher's pet and the know-it-all. Perfect, right? He's the one that looks up to the teachers just like he looked up to the Emperor and worships them as the pinnacle of humanity, and so he tries to rub up against them as much as he can. If he sees you and whatever you're doing with the other characters out of line, he'll sneak over to a teacher and snitch on you to get closer to the teacher and get all of that kudos. That is Lorgar. Perfect, right? I know. I'm convincing you more and more. We're not done yet, though. We're not done yet. Jagata Khan. This, again, simple one. Think about right now, what are the White Scars best known for? Speedy bikes. He's the biker bad boy. He's wearing that leather. He comes riding in on the bike, pulls his helmet off. Everyone's like, oh, look at him. He's such a bad boy. Ooh, rides in on like his big motorbike that he made himself. He's probably a leader of a biker gang of some kind and everyone thinks he's a bad person. But no, secretly he's not. If you get through that facade, he's actually a really good guy. And he believes in justice and honor. That type of biker character. That is Jagatai Khan. On the flip side, another bad boy, Conrad Kurz, the heavy metal bad boy, Primarch of the Night Lords. I mean, is that heavy metal? Night Lords, come on. But yeah, he's the heavy metal bad boy. The one that's wearing spikes, always again wearing dark, similar to Jagato Khan, but more of the heavy metal aesthetic. But again, he's probably listening to heavy metal during class, getting in trouble for listening to it, but he's like, no, I don't care what you say. And again, you might think, oh, I get through this facade and there's a nice character behind it. No, this one, he is a dick. Just like he is in the Warhammer 40k universe, he's still a dick. And so if you befriend him, you start going down that route, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. All right? 3 more. We got 3 more Primarchs to go. Angron. This is the delinquent. Fits too well. Alright? Just think about his story as before he was a Primarch growing up on his planet, where he was forced to be a gladiator under these ruthless overlords. And what did he do? He fought against the rules. He broke the rules, created a riot, fought back against his oppressors, and eventually almost lost until he was saved by the Emperor. And again, he has the anger issues. Angron, he did end up being a demon prince of Khorne, and so he is the delinquent. He's the one that doesn't follow the rules, hates the rules, thinks they're limiting, and enforcing these rules on people is wrong. And so he would just miss class, go out, and then if he gets told off, he might break a table or something because of his anger issues. Delinquent. Angron the delinquent. Corvus Corax, the goth. Alright? The goth sitting, usually very, very quiet. You see them writing in their notebook, wearing all black, straight long hair. That's Corvus Corax. And you get to know him, and you find out that he's actually a very sweet soul, expressing himself through his poems and his music. Corvus Corax, goth. And finally, Alfarius and Omega. These guys are the comedic, cheeky prankster twins. You always need these guys. Think Fred and George Weasley, but a bit more malicious. Alright? Because, again, in the lore, Alfarius, Omegon, which side are they on? Are they traitor? Are they loyalist? No one truly knows except for them. So you gotta have Alfarius and Omegon playing both sides. They could be pretty good people if you kind of get to know them, but they have that mean streak. They love playing pranks on people, and they don't know when to stop. And so if you start hanging out with them, you probably be playing pranks on a lot of people, maybe pushing it too far until, maybe you can convince them to stop pushing it too far. But who knows in this story? Who knows in this world? But again, that's Alfarius and Omegon, the prankster twins. And that's all of the Primarchs. Perfectly fitting into all of these high school stereotypes. The perfect Warhammer 40k high school AU, right? I've convinced you. This has worked perfectly. But now you're like, Kip, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me this information, which is correct? You are correct with these stereotypes and how they relate to the Primarchs, but why? One phrase. Warhammer 40k high school dating sim. Yeah, let that sink in for you. You could play through a dating sim and choose a Primarch and follow through their story and eventually date them. Date the Primarch that you like the most. And there could be so many different stories with all these different characters that already have their pronounced personalities. It's a amazing opportunity, and I don't know why anyone else has done it. And also, they don't all have to be guys. You could easily have either an all-male cast or an all-female cast, depending on who wants to play. Because there is an excellent artist by the name of, I'll link this right here, it would just be above my head, but CNMBWJX on Twitter. They have done a lot of incredible gender-bent Primarch art, and it's perfect and fits amazingly. So, if anyone wants to make this, get in contact. I am so keen. I don't know how much I can help, but if you want to make it, go ahead. It's genius. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. And it will be eaten up like cake. This has been the definitive list of Primarchs as high school stereotypes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!